All right, hello and welcome. My name is Gediminas, and today we're going to continue our webinar series on systems of network marketing. So a few months ago, me and one of our leaders, Irina, went to Las Vegas to attend a training called Beyond Leadership. That's a $5,000 per person training for 4 days. Where we've learned a lot of strategies, a lot of systems, a lot of other things useful for a network marketing business. And one of the things that was really emphasized were systems. So that's why over the last 5 or 6 weeks, I've been covering with you guys a system every single week. If you missed any of those, just go to our team group and you'll find the recordings, or you can go to my YouTube channel and you'll find the recordings there, so you can watch systems on how to get customers, how to get distributors, how to keep these people in the business, and so on. So if you missed any of those, feel free to go and rewatch the replays. But this week we're going to talk about communication systems. So I'm not talking about how you're speaking to people. I'm talking how are you connected to your organization, to your business. Now, you might say, well, do I need to be connected to my team? Do I need to be connected with all of these people? The answer is hell yes, right? Because regular communication with your team will give you huge advantage as a leader. You cannot imagine how vital it is for you to be able to communicate with your team and get information to your team on a regular basis. Because if you have that power or that resource, it can speed up your business massively. So I'll go through some of the systems that we have in our team for communication, and then you can apply these in your business or maybe add some new ones, because I'll give you some basic stuff, but I'm also going to give you some more advanced stuff. So as you know, a system, and you should have a system for everything, because if you don't have a system in your business, then your business is not duplicatable. If your business runs on your charisma, on your personality, that's not duplicatable. Not everybody can be as charismatic as you, as whatever. But if it's a system, if it's a step-by-step process, then anybody can follow that. And that's the advantage of building your business on systems. So a successful system is that everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. And if a new person joins your business and takes a look at your system, they should be able to say, it looks easy, it looks like it's going to work, and it looks like I can do it, right? So some of those systems I'm going to give you are very simple, where your new team member can easily join them and use them, etc. Other systems might be for you as a leader, but probably your team members wouldn't duplicate that, okay? So the person who is connected will win. And I can promise you that. If you have two leaders, one leader is very well connected with their team, where they can put information out there and their team instantly sees that information and actually reads that information, they will win all the time against a leader who hasn't got a very good communication system with their team, who is not very well connected, where they can't pass the information on to their team, okay? So what are the ways for you to connect with your team members, to send the information to your team? So I'll go by the in order of importance and in order of easiness to use. So number one right now, I believe, is Facebook chats. So Facebook Messenger chats, right? So not a Facebook group, but a messenger chat. The reason why Facebook Messenger chat is so effective, because people get notifications. Every time you post something, people get notifications. So yes, it can be a bit intense when everybody starts commenting and the thing just starts pinging, ping, 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 right? But people can mute it, etc. But it's probably the fastest way for you to reach out to people, because almost everybody is on Facebook. And if you put them on the messenger chat, this way they can get information the quickest way. So that's probably number one way to communicate with your team. Number two way, I would say a WhatsApp group. Because again, WhatsApp, like the messenger, sends a notification every time the information is being sent through. And again, through WhatsApp, you can be sending pictures, voice notes, videos, pretty much everything, right? Links and things like that. So both messenger groups and WhatsApp groups are very, very effective. 3 would be Facebook groups. So Facebook groups are great to set up because within the Facebook group, you can share larger files, because usually on a messenger chat, you can send a file up to 25 megabytes. Anything bigger than that, messenger chat will not allow you to send. Whereas on your Facebook group, you can upload videos that are hours and hours long. You can upload PDF files. You can upload loads of useful resources, etc. And it's easier for people to find information. So chat is great if you instantly want to let somebody know about something. But if I put something in the chat a week ago, it's like impossible to get to that information, because you'll have to scroll like for 3 days, you know. But in the Facebook group, it's not as much chatter, so the posts are more easier to find, right? So, and one thing that is highly recommended is, if you have important posts on your Facebook groups, is to tag people in. So let's say a new person joins the team, you go in a team Facebook group, you add that person, and you tag that person on the first video to watch, right? So in our group, we have the first 7-day video that Sarah has recorded, which takes the person through the 7 days of doing the business. So you tag the person on it, you know that they are now going to know what to do at least within their first 7 days. And of course, in the group, there are more videos and more resources that they can later consume and learn from. So that's, again, that's probably the 3 by importance. Number 4, by importance, I would say email list. Now, email, of course, is not as used as it used to be, right? Because most people, they get just so many emails, they get bombarded and swamped by it. But email is still effective. You know, even this week, I've sent out an email campaign to our team, and a lot of people acted on it. You know, so it's still useful as long as it's not overused. You know, if you start sending 2, 3, 4 emails a day, you're going to kill it. You know, people are just going to unsubscribe. People are going to stop reading your emails. But if you're sending an email once a day or 3, 4, 5 times a week, then it can be very effective to highlight important information. Because again, somebody might have missed, you know, the little message in the chat. Somebody might have not checked the group, but email will come to their inbox. And if you put, you know, a good title, good heading, they'll click on that and they'll open. So what I use for our team, I use an email system called MailChimp. So MailChimp is free to use, I think, up to 1,000 subscribers. So if you still got a small team, it's free of charge for you to use. And what's nice, that you create an email list on your MailChimp account, you add all your team members, and the next time you want to send an email, it's just literally, you just select that list, and all of that list gets your email. So instead of you going into your Yahoo or Gmail and manually adding all the emails in every time, which is like just waste of time, you go into your MailChimp account and you send an email to your whole entire team. So it's quite effective. I've been using MailChimp for the last 9 years, probably since I first started a business, for our team. And then when new people join our team, I always try to add them to the MailChimp list so that all of them are receiving the information. And what's cool about email autoresponder like MailChimp is that you can set up automatic emails. So in our team, I have 10 emails set up each day. So if a new team member joins the team, I subscribe them to our list, and then for the next 10 days, they'll get an email automatically every single day. Number 1, you know, perfumes. Day 2, makeup. Day 3, home products. Day 4, food supplements. Day 5, something else. So it's a nice getting started information, important information that you can set up once, and then every time you add a subscriber to your list, they just get the email automatically, right? So again, if you're not very technologically savvy, don't worry. If you go into MailChimp, you set up your account, it'll walk you step by step how to set up all of that stuff. Not very difficult to use, but definitely useful to stay in touch with your team. Okay. Then we start going into sort of more, well, actually one more. Number 5 would be a conference call, like a Zoom, right? So we use Zoom a lot in our business. We're on it right now. And again, good thing about Zoom, it's free. And whatever is free, it's duplicatable. Because if you have to pay money for something, then not everybody going to use it. But if it's free, everybody can use it. So you can actually set up a Zoom account for free, and you can have meetings up to 40 minutes with 100 people watching, absolutely free of charge. If you want to do longer meetings than 40 minutes, You can literally, after 40 minutes, it disconnects. You can jump back on the same link and do another 40 minutes. Once you start making some money, you can get a paid version like what I did. And with this one, we can go on for hours, right? But you don't have to get the paid version at the beginning. At the beginning, your call shouldn't be longer than 40 minutes anyway, because you're going to bore people to death, like me. So Zooms are very effective as well. But then there's some more advanced things that you can use. For example, like a podcast. Podcast is like a radio show, like an audio show. Most people have podcast app on their phone, and you can create your own podcast. So you could have a podcast for your team where every week, maybe once a week, or maybe a few times a week, or maybe once a month, you do a program. You do like a show, audio show. You record an audio and then you put it on the podcast, and all of your team subscribes to that, and they get a notification that, hey, there's a new team episode released, and they can go and listen. Now, I know that's a little bit more technological, a little bit more whatever, but that might be somewhere down the line. You might, once your team grows into tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of people, you might want to have your own, like a program that you go on once a week and everybody subscribes to you and listens to your message. Other thing that some people are starting to use is something called ManyChat. ManyChat is like automated messenger for your Facebook page. So that's not for your personal profile on Facebook. That's for your business page. You can set up a ManyChat account, and then somebody subscribes to that, and then you can send them automated messages, etc. Like some of you are subscribed to Fraser Brooks or to Eric Worre or to some other guys on Facebook who send you these automated messages. You get like a couple of choices. They go, hey, have you heard of our new training? And then you get two choices, yes or no or whatever, right? So again, that's a bit more technological, but again, as your team and business grows, something that you might want to consider putting into your business, all right, and using in your business. And I think that's pretty much it. I would say stick to these ones, and you'll be good. You'll have a lot better reach to your people than most people do in network marketing. So find some sort of a rhythm to communicate with your team. So for example, this Zoom, we do it once a week, right? We don't do training every single day because that would just be too much and overwhelming to most people, right? But we might do a training Zoom once a week. Then on a messenger, it might be a lot more often communication, and things like that. So you get into a sort of a rhythm, how you communicate with your team, how you're passing on the information. Like email, I try not to send more than one email a day to the team, and usually I send one about every 2 days, etc., depending on how much stuff I've got to share with the team. And all of these things, there's a good quote that says, dig your well before you're thirsty. What does that mean? You should start, your communication systems before you've built a huge team, right? So if your team is already hundreds or thousands of people, and now you're thinking about setting up groups, you're like, what you be doing? Because you should start building your communication channels when your team just starts growing, right? Now, it doesn't mean that each and every one of you have to have your own Facebook group for your team and your own chat for your team. Because if your team is like 2 people, just plug them into your leaders chat, into your leaders group, because that's going to be alive. Things will be happening, because the last thing you want to do is recruit a new person, add them to your team chat, and in that team chat, there's 2 of you. And there's nothing happening. Like nobody's ever messaging anybody. Nobody's ever asking anything. That's just ridiculous, right? So use the team's groups and chats to begin with. But once your team has grown into maybe 20, 30, 50 people, 100 people, then you might want to still be using the main group chat, but maybe you want to have your own little team chat, to pass on your own information, etc. So again, that's totally cool to have things like that for your team and personalize it as the time goes. But as I'm saying, don't rush into it. I remember I created my groups way too early. I should have just stuck to my team leaders groups, but I was very cocky and very proud, and I wanted to have my own groups, so I set them up a bit too early, and it was a little bit dead a lot of the times in there, so you want to be in the main group as long as you can before you start setting up your own team groups and things like that. Okay, so and one of the keys for these channels of communication is for you to pass obviously important information like what promotions are happening, what new products are coming in, what trainings are happening, recognition, recognizing team members for the work they do using these channels, to promote them, edify them, but also sometimes to pass on some straight talk, some, tough love. As a leader, sometimes you have to tell off your team members sometimes, not too often, but so again, it's good to have separate groups for different level of qualification, so like maybe my main group for everybody, and then you might want to have like a leadership group where you have higher leaders who are a little bit more advanced, where you can share more challenging information and things like that, right? Now, of course, whatever goes, in any marketing, you should have a call to action in most of your communication. So if you're sending out a video to your team, if you're sending out a message to your team, if you're sending out an email to your team, it should always have a call to action, right? What to do. When I first started in network marketing, I thought people will know what to do. Like, if I send a training about how to sell, then everybody will know to go straight and start selling after watching the video, right? Wrong. So most people need direction, right? Because they're used to it. When they got a job, they get told every day what to do. So when people join your business, again, not that you're a boss to them or that you can tell them what to do, because network marketing is a voluntary army, right? Everybody's building their own business. You're not paying anybody's salary, so you're not boss to anybody. However, you want to give people direction. So if you do a post about something, say, hey, why not apply this? Why not put this on your Facebook? Why not share this with your group? Why not do that, right? So give some sort of a call to action in all of your trainings, in all of your posts and things like that for your team, so that it's not just information. You're not just announcing, you are promoting, right? So you announce the information when you just go, hey guys, there's a training happening. Promotion would be, hey guys, there's a training happening. This is what's going to be covered. This is why it's so important for you to go. And my advice for you is buy a ticket today and tag all of your team members in the comments. That's now a call to action. Now the person, once they've read that information or watched that video, they know they need to do something, right? Which is really, really important. And of course, follow the plan, do, review. So with any communication, you can really maximize your results if you plan, do, review. So what's plan, do, review? Well, you plan something, right? So you plan a week ahead, you plan a month ahead, you plan a day ahead, and you share that plan. So, hey guys, today is shout out Sunday, right? Why not give a shout out to your, team member who you're proud, of for something, right? So that's a plan. Then do, right? So you plan, then you execute, then you do the thing, right? And then finally, you review. How did that work, right? So, most people, they do plan, do, but they don't review. What I would suggest is start doing plan, do, review. So let's say you plan your week, you then execute, you do what you can do and what you want to do. Then at the end of the week, review. How did that go? What were my plans for this week, and what did I achieve? Did I get to what I wanted to get to? Did I get what I wanted to get, etc.? So by reviewing it, you're actually analyzing what happened. And it doesn't have to be like half a day. Now I'm reviewing my week. It can be 2 minutes. Just going back through your diary. Okay, what did I make? What did I plan for this week? What were my goals? And what did I actually achieve? And then by reviewing it, now you can adjust the plan for next week. So you plan, do, review. Use what you've just learned from reviewing it to plan the next week. Again, you do review. And this way you keep polishing it. You keep perfecting your plan, do, review every single week. And this communication system can help you a lot with that. So you can use it to ask your team members questions, to analyze how is things happening, how well guys, so you can have accountability, you can have people just letting you know if this was effective or not. And sometimes you won't even have to ask. Sometimes you'll share a post with your team. And by the way, another thing that you can have on WhatsApp is broadcast lists. So unlike a group, when you have a broadcast list, it delivers to each person individually the message you're sending through the broadcast list, right? So sometimes you'll share information a particular post to do or whatever, and you'll get feedback from your team members who'll say, I just used this and I got a customer. Another team member goes, hey, I got a customer. Bam, that's effective. Reuse that, right? Like a lot of people are acting like big companies. They make an advertisement, it's super effective, it sells loads, and they go, okay, now we need to come up with a new one. No, you don't. Keep using the one that's working until it stops working. Then design a new one. So same with your posts on social media, etc. If you did a post last week that worked fabulously, of course, don't use it every single day, but reuse it. Go back through your timeline, go back through your group and see what worked well last week, what worked well last month, and maybe don't do the same post, but structure a new post, maybe with a different product, in the same way, because you saw that way worked last week. You know what I mean? So plan your reviews is great, and you can incorporate it in your communication systems, right? So how to get people to engage in your communication systems? One is through training. So every new person that joins your team, they should know that, hey, you need to, I'll add you to our Facebook chats, and they're important because of that and that and that. You're also going to be added to our WhatsApp group. Again, don't leave it. Mute it if it's, it's too much for you, but don't leave it, stay in it, because, that's what we're going to share in there. You're also going to be subscribed to our email list, etc., etc. You know what I mean? So you train the person, first of all, why they should be in those communication channels, and then how to be in those communications. So you either send them a link to join those groups, or you add them to those groups. Best way to do actually with Facebook groups is send the person the link for the group and get them to join the group instead of you adding them. It will work more effectively. They will see more information in the group if they join the group by themselves, as opposed to you adding them onto the group. Because before, you used to add people to the group and automatically they would appear in the group. No longer. Now, even if you add somebody to the group, they have to accept you adding them. And a lot of people miss that little notification that you added them in the group, and then they don't get any information because they are not in the group until they accepted to be in that group, So it's always better to send them a link for the group. They join and you approve them. Bam, they're in the group now, right? And it also, for me personally, it shows that that person wants to be in it. Because if a new person joins my team, I go, hey, join this group, and then they don't, clearly they don't want to be in that group. You know what I mean? So that's one. Number two is culture. So people will do what leader deems important. So whatever you as a leader emphasize and whatever you say it's important, that's what your team members will do. So you want to build that culture where people see the importance of being in those communication channels. Like groups for our team, I think extremely important, because that's where we share the trainings, that's where we share the information, that's where we support each other, where we recognize each other, etc. So it's an extremely vital part of our business, and that's the culture of the team, that everybody gets added. Every new person that joins gets added to the group, and everybody goes, hey, please welcome Chloe, who just joined our team, and everybody goes and welcomes that person and makes them feel welcome, adds them as a friend, etc. That's part of the culture. So it might take you a day or two or a week or two to develop that culture, of doing it, but once you do that, it's very, very effective. Now, of course, part of running a good communication system is to make the information valuable, tight, and interesting. So the last thing you want to do is just make those chats irrelevant, because it's very easy from a very friendly group chat to turn into something that is just ridiculous, that is completely unrelated to the business, where people start congratulating each other with birthdays, where people start sharing other stuff, not business related, and things like that. And then it just becomes a flow of irrelevant information. And then people start leaving that chat, leaving those groups, because it's not what it's supposed to be. So as a leader, you want to keep a nice, tight control of the content that is being shared within your chats, within your groups. If somebody puts something unrelated, talk to them individually, say, hey, Kelly, I saw you posted that, something else. Please don't do that, because our group is, business only, etc. If they do that again, kick them out. You gave them the warning, they didn't listen, that's it. They can't be part of that group, etc. To keep that group relevant, because otherwise you'll start having so much information there, people will miss that. And remember, you might be doing this business full time and you see all the posts. But somebody who's working full time and who only does this business in the evening, by the time they get back from work, they go into your chat and it's 6,000 messages there. What's the chance of them going through each of those and reading them, right? But if it's 6 messages in there, they can cope with that. They can go through 6 posts and read the most important information, right? So certain chats will be like a constant flow of information. Other chats should be just for the most important information. So this way, the part-timers can go back and read through the most important things. And that's why Facebook group is great as opposed to a chat, because there you'll have usually maybe 1 or 2 posts a day. So it's easier to consume that content for a part-timer than it is in a big chat. You know what I mean? And of course, when you're sharing information, make it valuable, make it interesting. If your trainings are boring, if your trainings are not interesting, then people will stop attending them, right? So you need to try and keep it engaging and useful for people so that they go, well, I went to the training last week and I picked up a useful thing. The week before as well, I got something useful. So I want to attend these trainings, right? Because as soon as you start seeing people are not attending your trainings, you know, you're either boring or it's not useful, right? So that's how I gauge you guys. You know, so if I see the numbers dropping, I know I'm in trouble, right? So, and then it's all about, you know, beating it into people's heads. So I know it's not a very nice way of expressing it, but it's repetition. It's repetition, 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 repetition. Whatever, you know, whatever you want to enforce in your team, whatever system you want to make in your team, it's all through repetition. Hey, don't forget to add your new team member to the group. Hey, don't forget to add your new team member in the group, until it becomes clear that everybody's doing it, right? Remember, everybody knows it, everybody does it, and it works. So it might take a while to get these processes into your business where everybody's doing it, but if you do it, it will work. And sometimes they can even be like a not a punishment, but control of your time as well as a leader. So for example, if you do a weekly call and you cover a certain topic in your weekly call, and then a team member reaches out to you and goes, hey, can you help me with that? And you go, well, we've discussed that on the team call. Did you watch that? And they go, oh, no, I didn't. Then I can't help you. You have to go and watch the video first. You know what I mean? So again, it releases some time for you as a leader, because if you have to do everything, every training, everything over and over, let's say like how to place an order. If you have to explain to every new person how to place an order, you're not going to have much time to anything else. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm a fan of videos. You know, I do a training like this, and guess what? I'm recording it. Right? So once it's done forever, right? And most of the, you know, somebody asked me, hey, how to place an order? Here's a video for that. Hey, how do I create my referral link? Here's a video for that. Oh, how do I use my first 10 days discount? Here's a video for that. You know what I mean? It then becomes easier for you as a leader because you created those resources. They are placed in, for example, I have a YouTube channel where I have those videos. We have the Facebook group, and a YouTube channel could be another actually means of communicating with your team and your followers. So that's also quite useful. So basically you create the tools that people can go back to. So you don't have to repeat the same thing over and over, because it can take a lot of time for you, right? And then also you sometimes need to bribe people to use those communication channels, right? So sometimes, you know, you announce something and those who are not plugged into the group, they miss the information, they miss the promotion, they miss the incentive, etc. So then they realize that, oh, I need to be and read those messages, because otherwise I can miss some important promotions, I can miss some important things, right? So again, you can do some, you know, maybe some special things, some training, some giveaways, some prize draws, etc. within your groups to keep them engaging, to keep them interesting, to keep people plugged in, so they would want to come back every day and check the information, because they know it's going to be fun, it's going to be engaging, etc. You know what I mean? So that's really it for the communication systems, guys.